They say Blackwood Asylum was sealed shut for good reason, but no one really knows why. Some whisper it's haunted by the restless souls of its forgotten patients. Others claim it hides something far worse than ghosts, a secret so vile it drove men to madness. What if I told you that deep beneath its rotting floors lies a hidden wing, one that was never meant to be found? Would you dare to step inside, knowing that everyone who's tried to uncover its truth has vanished without a trace? Tonight, we're going to do what no one else has done. Unlock the doors of Blackwood Asylum, peel back its moldy walls, and reveal the truth that's been buried for decades. What experiments did they perform here? Why did patients disappear overnight? And what became of the so-called doctor who was said to treat the living like lab rats? Stay with me, because by the end of this story, you'll wish you never heard what lurks behind these rusted gates. But remember, once you know Blackwood's darkest secret, there's no turning back. The question is, will you believe it when you see it? So, are you ready to see what waits in the shadows? Blackwood Asylum opened its doors in 1902, perched on a windswept hill just outside the small town of Millhaven. To the outside world, it was a sanctuary for the mentally ill, a place where troubled souls could find solace far from prying eyes. But for those who lived within its cold stone walls, it was anything but a sanctuary. Official records speak of overcrowding, underpaid staff, and patients chained to their beds for days on end. But that's just the beginning. Rumors spread through Millhaven like wildfire. Stories of unmarked graves hidden behind the asylum, of muffled screams echoing through the corridors at night. Some say the townspeople turned a blind eye because they were too afraid to confront what really went on inside. The asylum's founder, Dr. Aldous Wren, was once a respected psychiatrist, but as the years passed, he grew obsessed with curing what he called the darkness within. He pushed his patients to the brink, performing experimental treatments that were barely legal: lobotomies, electroshock therapy, sensory deprivation chambers. He believed he could cut madness out like a tumor. One winter, a severe blizzard cut the asylum off from the rest of the world for weeks. By the time townsfolk managed to dig their way up the hill, they found the place abandoned. No patients, no staff, just empty halls littered with overturned gurneys and medical records soaked in blood. Dr. Wren was never found. Some believe he fled. Others claim he still wanders the building, continuing his experiments on anyone foolish enough to enter. What's even more disturbing are the diaries left behind by the nurses, scribbled notes describing patients who vanished overnight, doors that locked themselves from the inside. One entry talks about a hidden underground wing, sealed shut after an experiment went horribly wrong, a wing that doesn't appear on any official blueprint. For decades, Blackwood Asylum has stood silent, its windows like black eyes watching over Millhaven. Teenagers dare each other to sneak in. Ghost hunters set up their cameras, but none stay long. Strange noises, cold spots, voices whispering your name. People say the building itself feeds on fear. But what if the real horror isn't the ghosts? What if the truth of what happened there is far worse than any haunting? And what if the darkest secret was never meant to stay buried at all? If you ask the people of Millhaven, they'll all tell you a different story about Blackwood Asylum, but every tale ends the same way, with someone never coming back. One legend speaks of the Screaming Hall, a long corridor deep in the East Wing where patients were dragged for special treatments. Locals claim that on windless nights, you can hear blood-curdling screams echoing from its cracked windows, even though no one set foot inside for decades. Another story tells of the shadow nurse. According to former staff, she was a kind soul who tried to help the patients escape Dr. Wren's twisted experiments, but when she was caught, she was locked away and left to starve. Some say her spirit still wanders the asylum, guiding lost intruders to safety. But if you follow her too long, you'll never find your way out again. Then there's the doctor himself. Urban explorers who've dared to spend the night speak of seeing a figure in a filthy lab coat, standing at the end of dark hallways. He doesn't chase you. He waits. Some say if you look into his eyes, you're doomed to become one of his experiments. Even hardened ghost hunters refuse to stay after midnight. Locals talk about electrical surges whenever someone enters the main building. EMF meters spike for no reason, batteries drain instantly, and cameras refuse to work. People have captured strange voices on recorders, pleas for help, guttural laughter, even someone whispering their name when they're completely alone. Some legends are even more bizarre. They say the asylum moves. Those rooms change places, doors lock behind you, hallways stretch on forever until you find yourself right back where you started. One urban explorer described finding a heavy metal door in the basement marked, "Do not enter." When he returned with a friend, the door was gone, as if it had never been there at all. And if you listen carefully near the old surgery wing, some say you can hear the tapping, the soft, steady sound of metal tools hitting tile. It's as if someone is still preparing for an operation that never ends. It's these stories that keep people away and draw thrill seekers back. But the truth behind these legends might be even more terrifying. Because deep beneath the asylum's crumbling floors, something real waits in the dark. And it's been waiting for someone like us to find it. The iron gates groan open with a shriek that echoes into the night, as if the building itself is warning me to turn back. But curiosity is louder than fear, at least for now. Inside, the air is stale, thick with mold and something else I can't quite place, the faint scent of antiseptic, clinging to these crumbling walls like a memory that refuses to die. My flashlight flickers as I step over broken tiles and shattered glass. Every footstep echoes back at me twice, like someone's following a step behind. In the main hall, patient records are scattered across the floor, yellowed pages marked with red ink, names crossed out, dates ending abruptly. A wheelchair sits abandoned in the corner, still facing the wall as if its occupant had been turned to watch something they shouldn't have seen. I find a rustic gurney in the corridor, leather restraints still attached. My light catches something on the wall, deep scratch marks, a single word carved over and over again. Run. Deeper inside, I push open a door to what must have been Dr. Wren's office. The shelves are lined with medical books and jars filled with cloudy liquid, some holding things I can't bring myself to look at for more than a second. On his desk, a leather-bound journal lies open. The last entry is smeared, but a few words stand out. The darkness is awake. It must be contained. The door must stay locked. I follow a trail of flickering lights to the basement steps. The smell grows stronger here, chemical, metallic. My breath fogs in the cold air. The stairs creak beneath my weight, each step deeper into the bowels of the asylum. At the bottom, the hallway is pitch black. My flashlight flickers again, then steadies. On the far wall, I see it, a massive metal door, half hidden behind pipes and debris. It's covered in warning signs: biohazard, do not enter, condemned. But something inside me knows, this is what I've been looking for. The final secret, the truth that was never meant to be uncovered. My hand trembles as I reach for the handle. Somewhere behind me, a floorboard creaks. I spin around, but the hallway is empty. Only the darkness stares back. And yet, I swear I hear breathing. The metal door groans as I force it open, the hinges screaming like something alive. A blast of freezing air hits my face, stale and sour, heavy with chemicals that burn my nose. My flashlight flickers over metal tables, shattered jars, and walls covered in dark stains that make my stomach twist. This isn't just a basement. It's an operating theater, a hidden lab where Dr. Wren performed his worst experiments away from prying eyes. Rusted surgical tools lie scattered on trays. Human bones, half dissected, are piled in crates like garbage. Faded X-rays line the walls, but they're not just of brains or skulls. Some show twisted figures, patients fused, organs rearranged like puzzles. In the far corner, I see something that makes my blood run cold. A glass tank, cracked but still intact. Inside floats what's left of a person, or several people. The skin is gray and bloated, eyes open but empty. Wires snake out of its head, connecting to an ancient machine that hums softly, like it's still alive. Then I see him. A shape in the shadows hunched over a work table. A tattered lab coat clings to a skeletal frame. Dr. Wren, or what's become of him? He turns slowly, his eyes milky white, lips curling into a grin that doesn't look human anymore. Before I can move, he whispers, a rasp that echoes through the lab. They beg to be cured. I made them whole. And now you're part of it. The door behind me slams shut. The lights flicker. Something moves in the tank. A hand presses against the glass from inside. The hum of the machine grows louder, pulsing like a heartbeat. I realize too late, the secret isn't just that the experiments continued. It's that they never ended. And now, I'm trapped inside them. Somewhere in the dark, I hear the sound of metal scraping across the floor. The thing in the tank presses its face to the glass, eyes wide open, staring right at me. Behind me, Dr. Wren's raspy whisper crawls through the darkness. No one ever leaves Blackwood. My flashlight flickers, then dies, plunging me into blackness. But before it goes out completely, I see dozens of shapes moving in the shadows, stitched together by hands that never knew mercy. If you ever feel brave enough to visit Blackwood Asylum, remember this. The doors might let you in, but they'll never let you leave. If you want more chilling stories like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button before the shadows find you too.